Live from FedEx Forum, this is The Odds Couple on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Here's Rob Fisher and Lang Whitaker.
Hello, good people. On who? Single on me.
Single.
What's up, everyone? It's The Odds Couple. I'm Lang Whitaker, and we are here at the Grind City Media Studios. Rob Fisher is not here in Memphis today. Rob is in Cleveland somewhere.
Yeah, Cleveland,
There it is.
Ohio. First time I've ever been to Cleveland where there hasn't been snow on the ground, I believe.
Is that true?
So, yeah, I believe so.
What about
so
Nats
that's nice.
attacking the pitchers on the pitcher's mound?
Well, I did see some of the White Sox in the hotel. Actually spoke with Paul DeYoung a little earlier, former Cardinal,
Nice.
who is now a White Sox. And they're in town to play the Guardians tonight. So big double dip with the Grizzlies playing next door to the baseball field, and the Guardians playing the White Sox tonight. So
But it's
big
probably
double hitter here in Cleveland.
Probably still cold there, right?
No, it's warm. It's nice. It's the best weather. Now it's cloudy and miserable, but it's the best weather we've ever had in Cleveland.
He said it's warm, it's nice, but it's cloudy and miserable.
Yes.
Well,
Describes the show sometimes. Hey, also here in the studio is my guy John Roser. sitting
up?
Next to me.
what up?
And
It's also cloudy and miserable in Memphis, too.
and if anyone's cloudy and miserable, it's John Roser. And on the ones and twos, as always, CJ Hurt.
Cloudy and miserable is my favorite weather. I love this right here.
I do
It
too.
doesn't get any better than
I don't
this.
like hot weather. Like,
What?
Get
I don't need it to
that
be
sun
hot.
out of here. I don't need it sunny. I just need the adequate amount of light so I can see things happening in front of me.
I can tell you this. I spent yesterday at Augusta National Golf Course.
Yeah, I like your hat, by the way.
And thank you. And it was cloudy and awesome. Not hot, but cloudy. So no sun, but it didn't rain either. So it was great. Sit there. It was awesome. It was. I don't need to talk about it. You guys, just
No, you got to
Google.
tell us about it. You got to tell us about
Nah,
it.
it was fine. It was amazing.
Is this the first time you've been?
First time I've been. I felt like I was in a video game. Like it's all you. We parked. We walked up. We walked out into the fifth fairway. All of a sudden, you're standing on the fifth fairway, and it feels like you're standing on like AstroTurf. The grass is so perfect. Everything's perfect. To me, the impressive part was how like organized and well run the whole thing is. It doesn't feel like it's the most important golf tournament in the world. It feels like it's like some local community thing because it feels small, but it's so well done and everything's on time. You don't have to wait in lines. The lines can be long, but man, they move. The food was cheap. Someone pointed out that all the sandwiches came in green wrappers because in case someone drops one on the ground, they don't want it to show. You won't notice it, and somebody will come clean it up. It was unbelievable, and it was awesome. I have some thoughts about some of the golfers, too, because I got to see a lot of them. But the best part, we walk out on the fifth. It's 8:30 in the morning, and we're like, we're here. We're really here. This is happening. And hey, guys, is that Tiger Woods? And it was Tiger Woods, one hole over.
That's awesome.
So we're like, let's go catch Tiger. So he was about to tee off on the sixth. So we went around the back of the sixth and stood behind. It's a par three. So we went and stood behind the green. And my son was with us, and I was like, hey, go kneel down right there in the front. They're not going to kick you out. Like, just go sit right behind. They had a little roped off section. I said, sit on the grass right there. So he goes and sits down there. And because it was a practice round, the guys would hit the ball, and if they weren't happy with their shot or whatever, they would hit multiple shots.
Yeah.
So Tiger tees off, hits it right by the hole. He was playing with Fred Couples and Justin Thomas, so the three of them all tee off. And then they would walk up to the green and take putts from all over. They had all the the hole locations for the whole weekend laid out, like somebody had marked them off with a tee, so they could practice hitting the different angles and stuff. But then Tiger just walks right over to where my son is and drops about 3 balls next to him and starts pitching balls 5 feet away from my son. My son's got his little instant camera because you can't bring
You can't bring your phone in.
So we had bought disposable cameras, which apparently, you guys know this, it takes a week to get a disposable camera developed.
At Walgreens.
Yeah, you remember when we were kids? Like you had like places you could just drop it off in an hour. Yeah, they had those little like those little huts
Like
in the parking
24-hour
lots.
photo.
Yeah. Anyway, So we got to watch Tiger for a couple holes. We saw a lot of
Got
different
some
guys.
good pictures, huh?
I don't know. I think so. I think we got some good pictures.
Find out in a week.
couple weeks.
Let you know next week.
It was the weirdest part is I walked out and I got to my car and I got my phone and I said, I got to post something about, I just spent a day at the Masters and I had no pictures. I couldn't post anything. Like I was like, what do I just write words? Like, nobody wants words. I want an image or something. And I had nothing to post. But
I imagine Augusta is. I've never been to Augusta, but I imagine it's very similar to a couple of places I've been, like Churchill Downs on Derby Day, or Wrigley Field, or
You know
the
what
Montreal Forum, where you walk in and it's kind of like the angels sing. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
and it's majestic, and the history just smacks you in the face.
you always hear people like we've probably all had the memory of your first time going to a Major League Baseball game and you walk in and you see the green grass and that's like we walked in the entrance and we kind of wind around and all of a sudden there's that fifth fairway and you're like, oh my gosh, like this is it. It is. It's perfect. It's like a video game. Like it didn't feel real. There was no trash anywhere. Nothing. All the people working there were so nice and they were so kind. They, oh, come this way. Let's go. Yes, sir. Let's go this way. That way. The sandwiches are all like $1.50 each. You know, like it was unbelievable. It's like it really is like Disney World. And I mean, then like when you go to Disney World, they do such a good job of like moving people through the park and keeping everything clean and moving and fast. And it's a great customer experience. I feel like that way for the Masters. And so you should go if you can. There were people like selling tickets all along the road to the Masters. I don't know what it costs, but it's worth it.
How many years did you get denied?
At least 15. I've tried every year to get tickets and never got the tickets. And
I try every year and I never get them.
I don't know. This year I got it. They had like these iPads set up where you could do like a survey about what your day had been like, and they asked questions about like different things. And I did it. And at the end, I said, enter your email address, and I did. And I guess it triggered something in their system because then I got a lot of questions about like what my experience was like actually getting the physical tickets in the mail. Would I do it again? All these other things, like, and I was just trying to. I put everything 10 out of 10, so I'm hoping it'll like next year.
We'll let this guy come back.
Yeah, this guy loved it. We're gonna bring him back again. He's a patron now.
Yeah,
I'm all in. It was amazing. But we can talk more about that. This has been a big week, like as sports fans.
Yeah.
Where do we start? NCAA women's was no. I guess WrestleMania was first, right?
WrestleMania was first. WrestleMania was awesome.
We nailed some of our picks on there.
Yeah, WrestleMania was awesome. Night one we had a game, so I was at the Grizzlies game, so I didn't get to see really night one. Night two, yeah, it was fun. The Undertaker was a massive surprise. Kind of knew Cena was coming,
yeah,
but the Undertaker was a surprise. Most people thought it was going to be Stone Cold, so the Undertaker was a nice surprise. You knew they were going to. You knew Cody was going to win.
Yeah.
Like, you knew he was. But how they did it, it was great. It was fun. Because you had also heard that Roman was probably going to be taking time off after WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, you're not going to go a couple of months without your champion ever being seen on television. So
and Cody like seems to really want to do it. You know, like he's in. He's invested.
Yeah, he's in. Now their next step is they got to find a heel for him for SummerSlam, which maybe it's going to be The Rock. Maybe The Rock will come back for SummerSlam because he's going away for a little bit to do a movie, but maybe he'll be back in time to ramp up for SummerSlam.
I thought it was hilarious.
SummerSlam, Rob, is in Cleveland.
Oh.
Yay!
So the Miz will have a big part.
At the Browns Stadium.
The Miz will probably do something big. He's a Cleveland guy.
Yeah. So they won the tag belts. They won him and R-Truth. It's hilarious.
This is funny. We nailed the Bailey winning. We that was one of the ones that Dustin gave. Yeah,
easy call. I love the Randy Orton, Kevin Owens, Logan Paul match. Yeah. I love Randy Orton. So I hope they let Orton have one more title push. I hope they do.
Well, it's funny.
Who won that one?
Well, when
Logan Paul.
Logan Paul won, but when he came out, there was a dancing Prime bottle. You know, like kids, my son's 11. Kids loved Prime, and they love Logan Paul because of Prime. Like kids talk about Prime. It's like a big thing in kid culture. And when that Prime bottle was there, we were like, oh, I said to my son, I was like, that Prime bottle is going to get involved somehow in this match. And then when the Prime bottle got into it with Randy Orton and pulled the mask off, I was like, I don't know who that is. My son goes, that's I Show Speed. Immediately, he's like, that's I Show Speed. Because he's a big YouTube streamer, gamer guy. And then, I think that was my son's favorite part was when I Show Speed got thrown through the table and
Randy Orton RKO'd him.
They killed him. He's dead.
Dude, he legit, Randy Orton kicked the crap out of him. Really kicked him. He kicked him. and then he RKO'd him on the table. And IShow Speed legit
Didn't move.
Well, he posted a picture on Twitter and said, WWE ain't no joke. Like, he had to go to the hospital. Like, his neck was messed up. I think, like, his arm was his leg, like, something else. Like, he had, like, multiple injuries from Randy Orton kicking him and then RKOing him on that table.
Fish, what was your favorite WrestleMania moment?
I didn't see any of it.
You're an embarrassment.
I'm upset that Roman Reigns lost. So that's upsetting to me. I'm very interested in it, though. I want to hear more about it. My question: Did The Rock did he do anything on Sunday?
Yeah, he came out.
So Sunday Sunday night was Rhodes against Roman Reigns, right?
Right.
And they had the night before they had set it up. Anyway, so it ended up with you knew someone was gonna
Bloodline rules.
yeah, somebody was gonna mess around and mess up with the match. So it was the two of them, and then the Usos came out and fought each other, and one of them speared the other one off the platform into
They
a
just
table,
disappeared.
like 10 feet below the ramp. And then Solo came out, one of the other Bloodline guys, and they were like, "Oh no, who's going to stop him?" And then Cena came out and stopped him. They're like, "Who's going to stop John Cena?" And then The Rock. No, who else came out before Cena?
The Rock.
Because Seth Rollins came before the.
So then, Rollins came out. Rollins got The Rock
The
came
Rock
out.
came out.
Then Rollins.
Yeah.
Okay, so The Rock then got Cena out, and then the Shields music started, and Seth Rollins came in
To get The Rock out,
but Roman Reigns knocked him out, and so then The Rock is standing there like what, like in the middle of the ring by himself, and then boom hits, and all the lights go out. The lights turn back on. The Rock's looking at the entrance, talking his crap. You want to come mess with the final boss? And cursing left and right. They had to cut his microphone so many times because he is cursing left, dropping F-bombs left and right. And when the lights come on, the Undertaker is behind him. And the Undertaker choke slams him. He gets out of the way.
and then Cody wins it.
Yes. Then Roman Reigns.
Right, baby, Cody.
And Roman Reigns hits Seth Rollins with the chair, and then Cody gets Roman Reigns, and wins it. Crybaby Cody. The Cody Crybaby.
It was awesome. Any thoughts about the men's NCAA tournament final?
Not
we
a
all
shocker.
We all said UConn was going to win. Right?
I think the men's and the women's, the final. You look at them, it's not a shocker. Like the best team won in both of them.
The only thing I made money on, and it wasn't a lot of money, was South Carolina to win the whole damn thing.
Yeah.
And it was only like $6 off a $10 bet. So I think I'm going to take that $16 and let it all ride on the Predators to win it all in the NHL Stanley Cup.
I retweeted something. It might have been you, CJ. I can't remember. But my big takeaway was like I couldn't believe Iowa went into the season knowing they had Caitlin Clark and didn't have a better roster around her.
They lost 2 players, so that's 2 players.
But South Carolina lost their whole team and still got a whole new team and was able to go undefeated.
To do it right, like watching that game, it was once again. If Caitlin Clark had a little bit more help, I think the supporting cast around her was better than it was last year, but just not good enough to beat a South Carolina team who you couldn't zone. They zoned them up last year, and South Carolina did nothing. Dawn Staley saw that and said, "You know what? I'm a good coach. I get zoned up and I can't get no shooters. I need some shooters." And went out there and got shooters. And now South Carolina looks like they're poised to go on one of these historic type runs where the last game they lose might be that Iowa game for the next 4 or 5 years.
The South Carolina team, they are big. And they did it. You saw Caitlin Clark the second half, particularly, it was the second half. So many jump shots were short. Yeah. So many of them were short, and you could tell that, like, South Carolina was being super physical with her.
She couldn't even get the ball. Like, they were denying her.
She scored 18 in the first quarter, and then South Carolina got super physical with her, and you just started to see as the game went on, that just started to wear on her, and you see tired legs when the shots start falling.
South Carolina was getting all those foul calls early, but they were like, okay, cool, we got 9 players we can go to. Like, we'll
and you're not going to call all of them.
You can't call all the fouls.
You're not going to call all of them.
Yeah, by the second half, like, she was worn down. Iowa was worn down. Like, they were kind of playing zone because they had to. Like, they were so wiped out, I thought. Yeah. But, go ahead, Rob.
If Iowa would have won, I would have won my women's bracket. So I was rooting for the Hawkeyes for sure, and it just felt like as that game was going on, even early in the game when they led by 11, and then South Carolina battled back, and at halftime you just thought this is going to take one of those magical Caitlin Clark games.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
which she's certainly capable of. She just didn't have that.
Not for 4 quarters.
She's right. She's throwing up those shots from way out, and they just weren't hitting on this night.
It started
Nights
going
that
the other way. Yeah.
Yeah, nights we've seen her have. She didn't have that sort. She still had a great night and was amazing, but it wasn't one of those. She was going to have to be extraordinary for Iowa to win.
South Carolina basically spotted Iowa 10 points, and it wasn't enough.
Yeah,
Right.
I might have when Iowa got up like 13-3 or 13-2. I might have jumped on South Carolina. I was like, can I get South Carolina plus money now?
Yeah.
You could not actually.
Huh.
The live line was still South Carolina minus 1.5 at even money, and I was like, okay, well, we're taking that. We took that. We're taking
I saw
it.
somewhere. I'm going to have to go try and find it. I should have wrote it down in the notebook. I think if you rolled over, if you took South Carolina on the money line for every game they won in this streak and just rolled the money over, I think you'd only be up like $25 and some change.
Yeah.
Like that's how dominant South Carolina is. And what they did with Caitlin Clark is, hey, you're not going to step back on us. We're not going to let you go left and step back. You're going to go right. You're going to drive. You're going to either have to finish through our link, to your point, Rosa, because South Carolina is really big. You're going to have to finish over Cardoso, or you're going to have to pass it to somebody else who then has to finish over Cardoso. We'll settle for that
She
as opposed
is a monster.
to stepbacks.
She is a monster.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the hard part when we play South Carolina, too. It's like, well, if they miss, they get the ball
get the
back.
rebound.
She's
Yeah.
6'7".
Yeah.
She's
And
6'7".
the other girl, who's the white girl that tall as hell?
She's 6'5".
They got another girl who's like 6'5". They got like 3 girls who are like 6'5" and up. And it's like
Caitlin Clark was like Iowa's tallest player.
Yeah,
more or
like
less,
they
you know?
had
They had
no
that one girl
chance.
O'Grady who was big, but like it didn't
This
do
shot right here makes me feel like we're in the Brady Bunch.
a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
I like it too.
Who's Alice?
I'll be Alice. No, I won't.
Don't do that. What about the men's final? Did anybody like? I watched a
Not
little
a
bit
surprise.
of it.
It's the same
But
thing
yeah,
as the
same deal,
women's.
right?
Like South
Zach Edey
Carolina was
Zach
that
Edey
much.
was the Caitlin Clark of
Yeah,
the
South
men's
Carolina is so much better than everybody in the women's bracket, and UConn is just that much better than everybody.
I thought Zach
I
Edey
think
was
Purdue is the
slow.
second best team in the country. They are. That's probably the second best team. They are not close to UConn's level.
No.
I thought Edey. I mean, he's an awesome college player. His footwork, though, man.
I don't.
His footwork is like.
I always watch the men's.
Is he any good defensively?
No, I mean I watch the men's games through the NBA lens. And I try to think about how these guys are going to play on the next level, and I was like, man, who is like Zach? No one's going to be afraid of Zach Edey on the next level.
They know how to play roles. The UConn team does. They all know how to play roles. That's the impressive thing about Klingon. It's like you know what Klingon's going to be at the NBA level, but he already knows that that's what he is. Yeah. And a guy like Edey, you're not going to get 25 shots a game in the NBA. So can you be like what Donovan Klingon does for UConn? Could you be that at the NBA level?
I don't think he's quick enough to
Maybe. Who knows?
Yeah.
Like, but
we all took UConn, right?
I don't really love any of them. I don't think any of these guys are going to be awesome. I think you've got role players. I think you got a lot of role players. I do like the freshman at UConn, Castle. I am interested to see what he could be like, 5 years from now, what he could be.
All right. Well, coming up this week, starting Thursday. What day is today? Wednesday. Starting tomorrow, the Masters in
On
Augusta
CBS and ESPN.
on ESPN Plus.
Yes.
ESPN and CBS.
The E.
The Masters is going. Look, Scheffler's the runaway favorite. We can look at some of the winners' futures that we have here. It's Scheffler's.
Wow, that's not even close.
I know it's not close at all. I don't know. I mean, any of these numbers jump out to you guys? Anything looks like a good bet?
So you don't take Sheff, much like I told you last year with Rahm. Rahm's odds were really bad, and I was like, just wait to see if he starts out slow. And he double bogeyed the first hole, and I was like, now you can get him like 13-1. Jump on that, and Rahm ended up winning. I have bets on Koepka to win because I do that every tournament. I also have a bet on Jordan Spieth, small, to win, just because Jordan Spieth has played at the Masters 10 times.
Yeah.
He's finished in the top 27 of the 10. He has finished in the top 5, I think, 5 of the 10.
No, four times, six times he's finished top 4.
6 times he's finished top 4. So, right, it's like man, he just plays well at this course. He knows this course. He plays well at this
There's
course.
other guys who always play well there, like Tony Finau is always good there, but he's
never won it.
Yeah, and he hasn't really been too good lately.
Here's interesting nuggets on Finau. He's plus 4,500 to win. Top 10, he's plus 410. The average winning age the last 10 years has been 31 years old. He's 34. He's under 40, which 9 of the last 10 winners have been. He's never won a major, which 12 of the last 20 winners at Augusta have not done. He made the cut last year, which the recent trend is that's what you have to do to win. He has a top 5 at Augusta. 8 of the last 11 winners have had a top 5 prior to their first win. And he tied for second in Houston 2 weeks ago. 4 of the last 6 winners have have a T3 in their previous 2 or 3 events leading up to Augusta. So Finau fits a lot of the trends and the betting trends, at least, as far as possibly being a winner this week. So he's an interesting one at plus 4,500. Schauffele's great at plus 1,600, number 2 in shots gained since January 1st, second best statistically in the world right now. So that's one. Spieth, as you mentioned, you said guys who have had success here before, Lang, Rory McIlroy, third in all-time scoring at Augusta behind just Tiger and Phil. His 16th attempt. Now, the only person who's taken more attempts to win at Augusta was Sergio Garcia, who it took him 19 times. And Rory, again, trying to complete the Grand Slam and become the 6th player to do that.
There was one other golfer that can we put those numbers back up there? There was one other golfer that I don't think you mentioned him. And I saw him play yesterday on the 18th. I saw him stick a ball from the fairway about 3 inches from the hole. And just all day I saw him he looked great. Hideki Matsuyama. And he's plus 22,000? I have bad eyes. But Matsuyama was somebody who I came away with.
No, you don't want drama.
Don't want drama. Also, Tony Finau, for what it's worth, when he walked off the course, gave his golf ball to my son yesterday.
Shout out to Tony Finau.
And I told him, my son, I was like, say Tony Finau where he be now. But he got nervous and didn't say it to him.
No.
So, but anyway, yeah, shout out Tony Finau. But Matsuyama looked great yesterday. The other red flag I got from yesterday was watching them practice putting. Ricky Fowler, all over the place. Also, Thigala, he got furious on the 9th hole. He missed a bunch of putts, and those greens are ridiculous in person. It's like trying to putt on this table. And there's some that had 90-degree turns, and there was guys having to putt the ball sideways and let it roll. They were all trying different things. And the guy got so mad. We saw him cussing at his caddy, and the guys he was playing with left, and he stayed to wait for the next group to come up there because he wanted to putt some more and talk to these guys about how to figure out these greens. So I would put a flag on him too. I wasn't enthused by his performance.
The key with the Masters is I've typically been pretty good at betting the Masters because it's you have to play rounds at this course to be good at it. Very rarely do you just come at it. The last person to win the Masters the first time playing it was Fuzzy Zoeller, 1979. Yeah. So you don't. It typically takes a lot of rounds. I will tell you, Fish, I love this bet. I don't love it, but it's one I'm doing because I do believe in it. Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson both to make the cut. I got plus 320.
Well, Tiger's
parlay plus 320. Tiger Woods can set the record for most consecutive made cuts at the Masters, in a row, right? And he knows that
at the time.
He knows that
right now.
Yeah, he does know that. So I love that. And Phil finished freaking top 5 in this thing last year. So Phil knows that those guys know this course.
Also, Tiger Woods has made major sacrifices to be great at this golf thing, especially here recently. He's given up sex so he can focus on the Masters.
Which that concerns me.
Because when he was at his best.
That concerns me.
When he was at his best.
That concerns me.
At his most dominant.
I don't know if he's going to be relaxed.
He was going the other way.
I don't know if Tiger's going to be relaxed.
So, I don't know. All right.
A couple of top 10 guys to look at possibly. Wanted to get your thoughts on these names. Well, Thigala was one of those guys.
No, he's out.
T9 last year, but you say no, he's out.
No.
Matt Fitzpatrick, who was great at Valero.
Yeah.
Matsuyama, who you mentioned, 4 straight top 20s for him. So he could be a guy, which would be good. Maybe a long shot. Russell Henley tied for 4th last year. And he's got 2 top 5s in his last 3 starts, and he's plus 6,000.
How about also Nick Taylor won the Canadian Open and won the Wastemaster? He looked good, too. We saw him yesterday. All right,
Yeah.
we're going to take a break. We got a guest coming in here to talk about UFC. Eric McMahon's joining us. We'll be back in just a second here on The Odds Couple on Grind City Media.
Justin Timberlake. The Forget Tomorrow World Tour. Live in Memphis. Justin Timberlake. FedEx Forum, Saturday, November 23rd. Get tickets now at livenation.com. The brand new single Selfish is available to stream and download now. For more, hit up justintimberlake.com.
Let's talk about golf in the context of the Masters and everything else going on. What NBA players would you like to play golf with?
My number one is Steph Curry.
See, like I thought about this, but I don't want to play with Steph Curry because he is good. I want someone I can beat.
Who?
Charles Barkley.
Is he bad at golf?
Oh, when we finish this, you, Kelsey, everyone else, just go look for a Charles Barkley swing.
IMHO with Lang Whitaker and me, Kelsey Wright Johnson, on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Real country music with Cody Johnson live Saturday, April 13th at FedEx Forum. Country's best. The Leather Tour with Cody Johnson. With special guest Justin Moore. Also featuring Drake Milligan. VIP and reserve seats on sale at Ticketmaster.com in the FedEx Forum box office. Cody Johnson.
Don't worry, Be Fluffy World Tour.
The minute you get into a brand new relationship, like magic, you know who really notices just how happy you are, guys? Other women, not your woman. Look how happy he is. I bet I can change that.
Friday, May 10th, FedEx Forum. Get your tickets now at fluffyguy.com. Don't miss a Memphis. Don't worry, Be Fluffy World Tour.
Welcome back to The Odds Couple on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Here's Rob Fisher and Lang Whitaker.
Welcome back to The Odds Couple here on Grind City Media. I'm Lang Whitaker. Rob Fisher's in Cleveland. John Roser and CJ Herter here. And we have a special guest in studio with us is the co-host of the Cage Side podcast here on Grind City Media with John Morgan.
With John Morgan.
Eric McMahon. Eric.
What's up, guys?
How are you?
I'm here to talk fighting. I love that.
You mean like, I like your shirt. Do you mean fighting and just in general fighting or like about UFC fighting?
Well, I'm particular to mixed martial arts, but
Yeah.
I'm down to watch a good street
Just a
fight as
fight.
well. You know what I mean?
Well, I want to before we start talking about all the fights and everything this week. We talked about WrestleMania in the last segment. What did you think of the weekend, Eric?
I mean, anytime you get The Rock, Undertaker,
Cena.
Roman Reigns, Cody, Cena. The great thing about it was like, what's next? And they delivered on every. So that's the problem with the Royal Rumble these days. It's always like, who's the surprise? And then you're underwhelmed by the surprise.
Yeah.
Not WrestleMania this year.
The only person I thought we might see that we didn't see was like either Stone Cold or Hogan because it was the 40th.
But here's the deal. I firmly believe, and now I have nothing to back this up, but I firmly believe that Austin was probably booked. And then everybody was talking about Austin being there. And then they're like, Swerve, let's go with Taker.
Yeah.
Because nobody was talking about Taker being there.
Yeah. But like you said, like the best part about Taker is like all you have to hear is that bell. And you're like, oh my God.
And the second gong was a bigger pop than the first.
Yeah. Yeah. It was awesome.
It was awesome.
You and I talked about mixed martial arts and UFC, and I told you like I don't really watch it. Like I don't want to be watching it and see someone break their leg or break their arm or something gross like that. And you were like, well, it happens in other sports too. And my argument was, well, but the point of this is to break someone's leg.
I'm going to push back against that a little bit, but to your degree, right? I think perception is reality for a lot of people. The fact that a leg break happens probably a lot more often in the NBA, baseball, football than it ever does in mixed martial arts.
Right.
But perception is reality. Two humans fighting each other in a steel cage. You think to the most primal instinct of it. I get it.
Yeah.
So. But like the regulations in place, like, I am a licensed official, mixed martial arts official, right? My sole duty is to protect the safety of the fighters, call balls and strikes, and protect the safety of the fighters. And if anybody's ever heard the term tap out, you have the choice to end it before said big injury happens. So 99 times out of 100, that's going to happen. Yeah. And then you get those fringe, leg kick where it gets checked, where it happens. No difference than, somebody, John Morant's fingers. I mean, how nasty was it when John Morant's fingers came all back? I mean, freak injuries do happen.
How do you get licensed to be a UFC official or MMA official?
So misconception is, yes, I do ref UFC fights, but I don't work for the UFC. I work for the athletic commission in whatever particular state they're in. Right. And, really just to get to that level, I got lucky.
You just have to beat some guys up and they license you, or how's it work?
Well, you have to be seen. You have to be just a good. Here's actually what the UFC told me specifically.
Okay.
Is I was working my first UFC event, and Mark Ratner, he's like, I've been watching you all night. You handle yourself professionally. And he's like, and you got a great look. And I was like, if you look at every NBA referee now, they're all bald and jacked. I mean, they're prototypes. So I think that had a lot to do with it as well.
I was actually thinking about during WrestleMania, Charles Robinson refereed the main event. He's been around WWE forever.
Right.
And I was thinking, he kind of has a look. Like, he has that blonde hair, and he looks like William H. Macy if he was refereeing, like, a wrestling match or something. But
but you can't put Dick Bavetta in the today's NBA game. Right. You just can't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You have to be, like, tall and jacked and
bald
and in great shape.
Yeah.
Joey Crawford wouldn't make it today.
They need to do a movie on, how they had, the Wrestler with Mickey Rourke.
Yeah.
Great movie.
The Ref.
It's a great movie. Yeah, we need something on wrestling referees, or we need real documentaries on some of these wrestling referees.
I was thinking William H. Macy should license Charles Robinson's story and play him. Like, he looks just like him. Like, it would be a great thing.
Or even if you look at Big John McCarthy, in the infancies of the UFC, a misconception. He was actually booked to fight in UFC 1, and then they're like, wait, we need a referee. That's how Big John McCarthy became the guy.
Yeah.
And then his protege was Herb Dean, who is now the guy because Big John McCarthy does a lot behind the scenes, and he's on the rules and regulations committees for what's called the Athletic Association of Boxing Commission, which makes all the rules for all this stuff. It's a movie would be cool about just any of those guys. It's so interesting.
Big John McCarthy's an awesome name.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Because they deal with crap behind the scenes.
Let's just call you Big John Roser from now on. Sounds cool. So WrestleMania 40 was a big deal. It's an even number. Is UFC 300 as big a deal?
I mean, as WrestleMania, probably not, because it's not as UFC in mixed martial arts is the fastest growing sport in the world. I mean, that's not up for debate right now. The metrics prove it out. What's very special about UFC 300, which is really special about what 200 and 100 is it was never supposed to be a thing. I mean, it was literally fought back against every legislator, corporate sponsors. Like Anheuser-Busch, wanted to stop mixed martial arts in its tracks back in the day because they were the competing sponsor for boxing. And so how it's got to be this mainstream with a multi-billion-dollar valuation, TKO brought it over. But yes, if we're going to talk about this card specifically, it's a huge deal. UFC 300, the 300 pay-per-view.
What's the biggest? Well, I mean, the main event, right, is Pereira and what's his name?
Jamal Hill.
Jamal Hill. What's the biggest undercard match?
So this is what makes this card spectacular. And on my show this past week, we were going through it. The traditional fan is going to say, "Oh well, George St. Pierre isn't on it. Brock Lesnar isn't on it. Any of these big names aren't on it, so it's not that great." But if you go from the card from top to bottom, it has got a ranked fighter as the curtain jerker. We have two past champions as the opening bout of the night. Wait, and then nobody's going to be in the building because in Vegas, people aren't getting to the arena at 3 p.m.
You just gave us some inside information. Do they call it the curtain jerker?
Well, in wrestling, they call it the curtain jerker.
That's the first match of the night?
Always on a wrestling card because it's the curtain jerker. You didn't know that?
Oh, I like that.
CJ's got something.
I love curtains and I love jerking them. That's just me, though.
Oh, hey there.
Oh, my God.
Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, just a note on this card, and you're talking about all the champions there. I saw 12 current or former champions on the card.
It's absolutely ridiculous. And a lot of people are being like, oh, well, it's not that great of a card because they wanted like Khabib Nurmagomedov to come back for this monumental card or George Rush St. Pierre to come back for this monumental card. Like, guess what? Those guys are not competing anymore. They're just not. They're not coming back.
Right.
And the common fan, they hear UFC, GSP, that's who they're going to tune in to see. So could it eclipse like all-time records with pay-per-view buys? Probably not. But is this from top to bottom the best card the UFC has probably ever put on? Absolutely.
Like most competitive, maybe.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Has the UFC done a good job marketing this next generation of fighters, in your opinion?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, you look at a O'Malley, like this guy's like the face of it. Like there's a lot of guys. What they're doing a good job is creating personalities like wrestling did. And so that's where they're doing a really good job of it. But certain stars shine brighter, right? The Conor McGregors, the O'Malleys, they just obviously shine brighter. And then you have these guys who all they care about is fighting and want to be the best in the world. So it's a, 6 in one hand, half dozen in the other type proposition with the UFC. They want to be ultra competitive. They want to get themselves away from that pro wrestling aspect of it, but they still want to take the really good
You better
things of
have it. You need that.
Yeah.
Because it's the truth. Conor McGregor can show up and fight, and people are still going to buy it right now. Like, it's
100%.
it's-
100%.
he's-
But you
he's
like
that
I just want
level.
to talk about this like main event really quick.
Okay.
Okay. So it's Alex Bahia versus Jamal Hill. Now, Alex Bahia is the light heavyweight champion of the world. He was the middleweight champion of the world. Beat Israel Adesanya.
Yeah.
I don't know if we all remember
Yeah.
that. And then Adesanya won the title back from him at one point. And that rivalry dated back to their kickboxing days a decade ago, which made it special. And then everybody just fell in love with this Alex Bahia because he comes out in like total traditional garb at the weigh-ins from his Aboriginal roots, and he walk into the cage and he's throwing bow and arrows at people. It's awesome. But yet he doesn't talk. He will just stoically look at you, and it's amazing. And then he went up a division, so he claimed the middleweight title. Then he went up a division, and now he's the lightweight or the light heavyweight champion of the world. And the way he got his shot is because his opponent, Jamal Hill, who was the reigning defending champion, ruptured his Achilles tendon, had to be out for a year, vacated the title, left a spot open. Now we have champion versus former champion who never lost his strap. Bam, main event, UFC 300, and it's going to be a war.
And the odds are very close on this one. Bahia is at minus 130 and Hill plus 110. So no real distinct favorite in this one.
Who would you pick, Eric?
Well, I mean, I'm looking at minus 135 for champion Alex Bahia, and I'm leaning towards Jamal Hill because for me, I look at it stylistically. How do styles make fights? Alex Bahia can turn anybody's lights out in the world. That's what he does. He starches people. Starched Israel Adesanya, right? But he has to close the range. Even though they're both big guys, the way he fights, he has to close the range on them. And Jamal Hill, he's a sniper from the outside. It's going to be really hard. And these are two dudes who, yes, they're going to weigh 205 pounds the night before the fight.
Yeah.
The night of the fight, they're weighing 235, 240, right? So these dudes are going to be knocking each other's heads off. And I just think the longer range fighter is going to get it done. So I don't bet because I work for the athletic commissions. But if there is a dog to take in this, it's worth a flyer. It's not going to net you a big return because
it's pretty even.
It's pretty even. But the former champion who never lost a strap is the underdog. It's a little wild.
Also, I need to write down, like you just used the term starching. He starches people. That's another good one.
There you go.
Like
Yeah,
curtain jerking and starching people.
Or say iced. He iced him.
Okay.
Oh, he iced him.
Oh, he iced
Yeah,
him.
that's
All
another
right.
knockout. But if you guys want another dog to take,
Yes.
so I mean,
We want
odds
dogs.
couple, right?
That's what we want.
All
Yeah.
right. So the opening fight of the night, which is called
The curtain
what?
jerker.
There we go,
There we
my
go.
man.
I'm in it.
I'm digging it. All right. So with the opening fight of the night, we have Davidson Figueiredo. This is a bantamweight fight.
Yes.
Davidson Figueiredo was the flyweight champion of the world.
Is flyweight less than bantamweight?
Less than.
Okay.
So bantamweight is 145 pounds. Flyweight's 135 pounds.
So these are some little dudes.
Little dudes, but
Yeah.
but they're my size who diet down for all of 1/2 of 1 second to make weight. Yeah, so at 145, they're probably getting in the cage at about 160,
So how do they gain
165.
20 pounds in a day?
Water. I mean, that Yeah, that right there weighs 1
If
pound.
I drank 20 pounds of water and food in a day, I wouldn't be able to move.
Yeah,
much
but
less
you
fight
also
a UFC
think,
championship
but you also got to
match.
think you took out 20 pounds of water to make that weight. So all you're
Yes.
doing is refilling it.
Yeah.
Which gets you so close to death, it's not healthy. I don't.
Yeah,
but
it's
anyway,
so unhealthy.
yeah, Davison Figueiredo was the 135 pound champion of the world.
Yes.
He went up a division. Now he's facing Cody Garbrandt, who he beat Dominic Cruz. You guys know that name?
Yeah.
He beat Dominic Cruz for the strap a number of years ago. Had some
Strap. That's
injury.
another one. Strap.
There we go. Had some injury problems. Now this is how monumental this is. That's the opening fight of the night. So, and if you look at the odds, Fish, I know you probably got it right there in front of you.
Yep.
Cody Garbrandt, as a former champion, the bigger man in the division, what's his odds?
Plus 250.
If there's not a dog to take on this whole card, and he's healthy, he's on a 2-fight win streak, mind frame's right. He was doing press earlier today that I was watching. The dude is locked in. That may be one to take. Now, I'm not telling you because I
might
don't
starch
bet.
him.
He might starch him. And
Ice
that's
him.
the thing. He's got one hitter quitter knockout power.
Another one.
Okay, no, I'm looking at this whole card now. This Jessica Andrade, she's on the early prelim card.
That's what I'm saying.
I remember when she used to be on the main card.
That's what I'm saying. If you take any one of these main card fights and put it at the top end. Okay, so Max Holloway, Justin Gaethje.
Max Holloway, Justin Gaethje could be a freaking main event.
So if you take not even the prelims, the early prelims.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at.
And then if you take Holloway and Gaethje and put that as a main event, that's a pay-per-view main card.
Yeah.
Those are the fights that aren't even on ESPN.
Yeah.
Those are only on the ESPN Plus streaming service. That's how monumental this card is. It's amazing. Jalen Turner, Moicano, that is number 10 versus number 13. That's on the early prelims, too. I mean, this card is absolutely stacked. Holly Holm.
I saw that. Holly Holm, the woman who knocked out Ronda Rousey.
The one who knocked out Ronda Rousey. She is fighting Kayla Harrison, who did fight for the PFL, Professional Fight League, 2-time Olympic gold medalist in judo, and has just been thrashing people in the PFL. Signed with UFC. And her opening fight is with Holly Holm. And Rob, what kind of dog is Holly Holm in this?
Holly Holm is a plus 350 dog. Kayla Harrison at minus 450.
Yeah, Kayla Harrison is that good. She is that mean. And if you get taken down by her, she is going to bludgeon your face.
Wait. But Aljamain Sterling's on the prelim card?
Aljamain Sterling, yeah, one fight off of his title run at bantamweight.
Right.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, that guy was just champion.
He lost to O'Malley.
Ago. Yeah.
He lost to O'Malley. Yeah, and everybody says, is the buy rate going to be what it probably really should? Probably not, because you don't have a GSP headlining it for this monumental 300.
You don't have,
the name. And that's what I always say on this card. A lot of people are complaining about it because you can't pick to one fight saying, like,
it's a good card. It's a great card, but you don't have that name at the top of the card on the poster that you're marketing and pushing out.
But if you look through every one of these fights, it's ranked fighters, and you never get that.
It is. I'm clicking on them to see their rankings. They're all ranked. All these guys are
Yuri
ranked. And women,
Prohaska
they're all ranked.
is the featured prelims, which means that's the last fight before the main card. One fight ago, he was the light heavyweight champion of the world.
He's number 2 in the light heavyweight rankings. The guy he is fighting is number 5 in the light heavyweight rankings. You get this for free. This is free. This is a free fight.
on ESPN, right?
On ESPN and ESPN Plus.
And then Bo Nickel, here's something. The biggest dog, the biggest favorite I've ever seen. Rob Fisher, what is Bo Nickel coming in at?
That would be minus 1408.
Okay, 14.
My goodness.
Okay, well that's minus 14 on. I don't know which one you're looking at. I've seen it right. I got it right here on FanDuel, minus 3,000.
Wow.
Minus 3,000. That's the biggest favorite I've ever seen. He is going to be the next superstar in the UFC. He's Bo Nickel. He's a former NCAA Division I wrestling champion out of Penn State. And the dude can box, he can do everything. This card has everything. If you guys need any, Rob, I'm sure you got something for me. What do you got, man?
Well, here's my question for you. The Holloway Gaethje fight, which are pretty good odds. Gaethje is minus 230, Holloway plus 190. It's for the BMF title. What is this BMF title?
Ceremonial BMF title.
Bad MFer?
Yeah, well, I don't know what the language restrictions are here, but the
we're not allowed
bad
to say that
MFer title. Right?
Only Kevin Garnett's allowed to say that word when he's in here. Nobody else.
So basically what the UFC has done with this BMF title is they just make crazy matchups that everybody would love to see like a fantasy matchup, and they say it's for the BMF title, right? It's a ceremonial thing.
Just think Masvidal and Nate Diaz
Nate
for
Diaz,
this.
yeah.
They're the ones who made this thing, so yeah.
Yeah, so with that fight, though, Max Holloway is coming up in weight to fight like a murderer in Justin
Gaethje's a
Gaethje.
beast.
And he's coming up in weight. This fight, I personally hate this fight. Just because I'm Justin Gaethje, and Roser, you can attest to this. Justin
I've seen him
Gaethje
fight.
changes people's careers
Yeah,
when he fights them.
man,
He beats
will-
you so bad.
He will knock the living crap. I saw that and I was like, I originally thought, I was like, Max Holloway's smaller than him. So, like, he's coming up. He is coming up with, like, Gaethje may just.
Gaethje just knocked out Dustin Poirier by a head kick knockout. Dustin Poirier.
Yeah.
Knocked him out.
Gaethje's going to. I mean, Max Holloway may be in whatever the Las Vegas, like, big hospital is.
You might get starched.
Las Vegas General.
Get starched.
Iced.
Yeah.
Iced out.
Iced.
But that's going to be like a really fun fight because these are two fan favorites.
Oliveira, hasn't he just been getting his ass kicked lately?
No.
I thought he had been getting his ass kicked.
No, Charles Oliveira.
Didn't he have the title and then he got his ass kicked like 2 fights in a row?
So Charles Oliveira hasn't lost since 2016 except one fight.
Who was the guy who had the title and got his ass kicked?
Well, he lost, but he lost to Islam Makhachev, who is now the reigning, defending lightweight champion of the world. And then he, as the number 1 contender in the lightweight division, he's taken on the number 4 ranked Arman Saryukin. And Charles Oliveira, Rob Fisher, what are the odds coming in at this guy?
He is plus 185.
The number 1 contender is a dog.
Number 1
in this fight.
And number 4, he's minus 230. So yeah, number 1 is a dog.
And so
Plus
they're looking
185.
at this Arman Saryukin as the next guy, and they're having him go through the number 1 contender to get it. And if you guys want to take another flyer, I'm not telling you because I don't bet. But
hey, where's
Charles Oliveira may be a good one.
All right. So that Islam guy is ranked the number 1 pound for pound fighter in the world.
Yeah.
UFC. Where's my Hazmat guy?
Chimaev,
yeah. Where's he?
He has actually got a fight lined up at UFC 302, I believe. I believe it's 302, but he is fighting Robert Whitaker.
That dude's a bad dude.
It's my cousin.
Hey, that's your cousin?
Oh, yeah.
Hazmat Chimaev?
No, Whitaker.
Oh, Robert Whitaker. Yeah, from New Zealand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They go back.
You guys look alike.
They go back.
But no, Chimaev is. I'm surprised he's not on this card because he is that next guy.
He's a name. Like, he is.
Yeah, and we're kind of like jumping all over the place with this, but
Yeah,
dude,
sorry.
that guy is he's a certifiable killer.
No, he will knock your head off.
But the knock on him though, get him if you can survive the first round on him, then it's there for the taking. Even though he's undefeated.
Pretty rough when you can't survive the first round on a guy. It's like, man, that's tough.
But the thing is that everybody that's had success against him still lost, so got out of the first round with him.
So when did O'Malley fight in 299 or something?
I believe it was 299, 298. He fought Marlon Cheetah Vera in Miami, Florida. Ended up just cruising to victory. He avenged his only loss in that fight. That guy, if you want to talk about superstar, he is a superstar. Fight week, they brought him to the Versace mansion for photo shoots. That's how big of a deal this guy is.
I would have thought O'Malley. You would want one of those guys on this card.
Hey,
O'Malley's the guy you put on the poster. Like,
yeah, but the only problem is that matchup wise, there was never that matchup
there was
for
never
him
a matchup there.
because you couldn't have put him in the main event against Marlon Cheetah Vera and expected that to draw the numbers from the interest perspective.
Yeah, right.
He is the superstar, but the next challenger was Cheetah Vera, who doesn't draw a lot of interest.
Right.
You know, it's kind of like he's the WWF figure, or WWE, shall I say, against just another good fighter. And so they put the best fight on the card that they could make, and that fight is Alex Bahia, Jamal Hill. It's going to be awesome.
one other fighter I want to ask you about, because I don't know where he's been, but I love this guy. I saw him on like a fight night.
Okay.
Years ago. And I was like, this guy's freaking good. And I had noticed he had started to climb. My guy, Bilal Muhammad. I freaking love that guy.
So
he's like from Chicago.
He is.
And he fights like he's from Chicago.
He's from Chicago. And an interesting fact about him, he's fought during Ramadan one time, right? And he does not eat or drink.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, and he's in training camp and he's fought. And he is clear-cut the number 1 contender in the world in the welterweight. But for some reason, every fan hates this guy. And they just will not give him a title shot. It is absurd. He has had like 10 straight victories, all by finishes. beat the top 10 ranked fighters in the world, and they are still not giving him a title shot. I don't know why. Leon Edwards is the champion, and they're talking about him going up a division or going down to fight Islam Makhachev, and Bilal Muhammad's the one left out. This game is about selling pay-per-views, and for whatever reason, Bilal Muhammad just does not. And so it's hard to headline a card with him.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah,
but I like that guy.
No, he's cool, man. He's from Chicago, dude. He will beat your face.
I know. When I first saw him, I was like, "Holy crap!"
Here's the funny thing about him, though, is that he doesn't finish fighters. That's the knock on him. He doesn't finish fights. He wins everybody by unanimous decision. And he was at a press conference in Miami.
That's why people don't like him.
Correct. For 298, and he was doing a Q&A, and a fan stood up and said, "Hey, Bilal, do you think you could win a street fight by decision?"
Dang, that's tough.
It is.
That's tough. Yeah. So, well, people want to see knockouts. They want to see the submissions. They don't want to see fights go to decision.
No.
Yeah, he's a savage, though, man. He's a savage.
People want to see people get starched.
Yeah.
Or ice.
Starched and iced.
Starched and iced.
I'll tell you what, as a referee, there's nothing crazier than literally watching somebody like lose consciousness right in front of you. And you're like, whoa, somebody needs to stop that fight. Wait, that's me.
Yeah, it's my job to do that. It's my job to stop this fight.
Yeah, you can watch cuts, like a little cut, you'll see an elbow and you're like, it's going to go. There, it's open. I see it.
Yeah.
It's
well,
pretty
it's my job
intense.
to stop this fight right now. And so we're going to.
Oh, yeah, we got to get free picks.
We got to get free picks. We got fish nuggets coming up. We got a bunch of stuff to get to. And we're almost out of time. So we're going to take one break. Eric, thanks for joining us.
Boom.
Check out Cage Side Podcast with John Morgan on Grind City Media. And we'll be right back in a second here on The Odds Couple on Grind City Media.
He's looking for the hot hand. Jared got the step, got the flush. There's no layups on that one.
Electric, rowdy, intense. They bring the same mentality that they bring anywhere into the building. If they were mad about something, they're bringing it in. If they were happy about something, they're bringing it in. So we need all that energy times 1,000.
Take your fandom to the next level with the official Grizzlies app. Go all access and behind the scenes.
It's got to be heavy defense. That's where it starts for us.
Personalized to where you are and who you are. Get easy access to ticketing, the game day guide, and your own app customization right at your fingertips. Upgrade your experience and download the Grizzlies app today.
Nate Bargatze, the Be Funny Tour.
I mean, Chuck E. Cheese is rough. I don't know if you've been there in a while. They look like they're trying to go to business and they can't.
All new material.
They filed for bankruptcy and they're still open. They called Blockbuster and they're like, how do you get out? We want out.
Nate Bargatze. Friday, May 31st, FedEx Forum. Tickets available at FedEx Forum box office or Ticketmaster.com. Produced by Outback Presents. Nate Bargatze, the Be Funny Tour.
I will take High School Musical with my fifth and final pick because it is a sports movie. You do got to get your head in the game. I love High School Musical. I love musicals. Sports and musicals can coexist in this beautiful world. What a beautiful, beautiful movie. Even though High School Musical 1 is not even the best of the High School Musicals.
Tune in to the Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt live every weekday at 8 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Welcome back to The Odds Couple on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Here's Rob Fisher and Lang Whitaker.
Welcome back to The Odds Couple here on Grind City Media. I'm Lang Whitaker alongside John Roser, CJ Hurt. Rob Fisher's with us in Cleveland, and we have to go to Rob Fisher now because it's time, my friends, for some nuggets.
That's right.
Who wants
nuggets?
Some nuggets? Fish nuggets.
Ready?
Let's go.
These are some Masters nuggets. 3 of the past 4 winners have had closing odds of under 2,000. 3 players have won with closing odds of plus 4,000 or bigger over the past decade. But the biggest pre-event closing odds over the past decade were plus 5,000. Danny Willett in 2016 and Hideki Matsuyama in 2021. Since 1996, only 1 player has won the Masters after missing the cut at Augusta the previous year. That was Patrick Reed in 2018.
You talk about that because of Rory?
Yeah. 12 of the last 20 at Augusta, the winners have been first-time major winners. The last debutante, you mentioned this earlier, was Fuzzy Zeller back in 1979. Debutante, yeah. How about that? They say weird things at Augusta.
I know.
14 of the previous 15 winners had achieved at least a top 30 finish at Augusta in a previous season. 8 of the last 11 winners of the Masters have achieved a top 5 finish at the Masters in a previous season. Before winning, we talked about Tony Finau being a guy who fits that mold. The last 10 winners of the Masters had all recorded a top 20 finish in at least one of their last 3 events. 9 of the last 10 winners of the Masters recorded a top 5 in one of their last 5 events. So it's about, I think the Masters comes down to a couple of things. Roser, you kind of touched on it earlier. It's about guys who are familiar with the course and guys who are playing really well at the time.
Yeah, that's why you see, like, one of the guys, like, I love, like, he's great as a golfer. He's won multiple majors, but, like, Colin Morikawa has not played well here. He's not played great. And I think it's just because he hasn't played enough rounds there. And I think he's probably a guy who will get better and better one year, but he's why I stay away from him. Justin Thomas has not played well here. I don't trust him. He just fired his caddy. I would stay away from him. Dustin Johnson's the most interesting guy in this tournament to me because last year he just kind of let it go and just didn't. And he said that he was embarrassed by it. He was embarrassed by his performances in the majors because we know Dustin Johnson, how awesome he can be if he does care. So he's really the interesting one to me this weekend.
Also, Fish, you said the word debutante, and I laughed about it. And you said, "Oh, they say funny things at Augusta," and we laughed. I would like to apologize to the membership there.
Well, you should. You'll never get back.
I just thought it was funny, and it was a quick, momentary lapse of judgment on my part. And I don't think they say weird things there.
No, you don't. No. And please allow me to come back.
I don't need to say that. That's given. CJ, do you know anything about the UFL update? Can you give us an update?
Oh, yeah. Here we
Roser
go.
was asking me for a UFL update.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, here it goes, John Rhodes. Right now, as of now, the standing looks like this in the UFL, the XFL division. Brahmas are 2-0, followed by the Battlehawks at 1-1. The Defenders as well from DC are 1-1. The Renegades 0-2 in the USFL division, or conference, excuse me. The Stallions are 2-0. The Showboats, what a loss this weekend. They are in full control of that game. That defense had held the Brahmas to 15 yards of total offense in the first half. The Brahmas had 42 yards in penalties. They had more penalty yards than total yardage in the first half. The Boats led through 3 quarters and then let go of the reins, man. How about that for the Brahmas?
Same old Showboats.
Same old Showboats. That's how the Brahmas get their second win. But the Boats are 1-1. The Michigan Panthers are 1-1. The Houston Roughnecks are Arlington. Wait, no, where are the Roughnecks from? Yeah, the Houston Roughnecks. They're 0-2. They are 0-2 after 2 weeks. Right now, you got the DC Defenders taking on Arlington. DC is -2. The Renegades, they need a win as they are 0-2. They allow the most points in the league at 31 points per game.
Yeah.
The Defenders, they need to figure out how to convert on third down. Only 4 of 21 on third down so far this season. That's like 19% on third downs. I will take the Defenders minus the 2. Memphis is +7 against the Stallions. The Stallions are, by the looks of things, the best team, certainly the best offense in the UFL. They lead the UFL in yards per game and points per game. The Showboats, though, lead the UFL in time of possession, about 75 minutes worth of time of possession. I think the Boats, we keep talking about how explosive this offense is going to be for the Boats. I hadn't seen it in 2 weeks, John Roser. It's not there. What I have seen is this defense light it up. I think that the Boats find a way to get the job done. I'll take them +7. They hold on to this football. The defense gets stopped. Take the Boats +7. The Roughnecks just don't run the ball. They're sitting there +3 against the Michigan Panthers. I will take the Panthers -3. I will also take the over. The over-under in that one is 38.5. I will take the over there. And the St. Louis Battlehawks, led by A.J. McCarron, -2 against the Brahmas. I don't think the Brahmas are any good. Certainly not good enough to be 2-0. They should have lost to Memphis. I think that the Battlehawks get them in this matchup. Give me the Battlehawks -2 and give me the under in that one.
All right. We have
fantastic.
we
Look,
have some, here's some
Showboats didn't move. on the odds to win the championship. They won their first game, didn't move. Lose their second game, they're still at plus 850.
People just don't believe, Fish.
No.
Same old showboat.
They got to find a way to score. They got into the red zone 3 or 4 times early in that game and came away with field goals. And then you look up and it bites them in the ass because 4th and 12 from their 28.
Yeah,
well, not 4th and 12, but instead of an onside kick, you get the basic 4th down right there. Gave it up, and the Brahmas went down the field and scored.
It was embarrassing for the franchise.
Terrible.
It was an
Terrible
embarrassing moment for the franchise.
Terrible look. Boats got to be a bit better, but that defense for the Showboats is legit. Lead the league in takeaways as well. 5 takeaways so far.
That's real.
Can you depend on that?
I think this team you can. I think every now and then you get one of those special teams that comes through that makes a living off of taking the ball away. You can tell they're hunting the takeovers. They're hunting it. Every now and then you find somebody who can go out there and get it and just get it done. What's my man's name for the Cowboys? Diggs, right? Like he's just out there hunting takeaways. And I think this team is hunting takeaways, and they do a good job of it.
Jerking some curtains.
Cool. Hey.
We're gonna do some free picks. Free picks. Anybody? I was gonna go tonight. Mets Braves. They played 2 games already. Braves have been scoring a lot of runs. Over under is 9.5. I'm taking the under. The Braves are starting Alan Winans, only his I think 7th major league start. Mets are starting Quintana. I don't know. It just feels like an under night. They've been scoring a lot of runs, so I'll take the under on Braves Mets tonight. Fish, you got a free pick for us?
I do. I got a couple of them. Tampa Bay and the Angels, the Rays and the Angels getting started here in about 10 minutes. I'd say jump on the Rays today in Los Angeles. I also like Kansas City tonight as an underdog against Houston, trying to win their 6th straight game. They're at home against Houston. Yes, the Kansas City Royals, and they're a dog at home at Houston's minus 120. I'll take Royals dog plus money situation. And then I love Cleveland tonight here in Cleveland against the Chicago White Sox. That total, Cleveland is minus 250. So you're going to have to give the 1.5, but I don't think it's going to matter. The White Sox are a disaster. They're terrible. Yeah. Maybe one of the worst teams in baseball. So I'll take Cleveland. I'll go ahead and throw the 1.5 on there as well.
All right. CJ, you got any free picks?
Over in the NHL, the Golden Knights are in a heated wild card race with one of these other teams. I don't know who they are. But the Golden Knights are playing the Oilers tonight. Some places got it even money. I think that our good friends over at Caesar got the Golden Knights plus 105. I'm taking the Golden Knights. They need this win to stay in that wild card race and not fall out of it for the chase for the Stanley Cup. Give me the Golden Knights.
All right. Roser?
My favorite pick of the Masters, I like the parlay of Brooks Koepka, Jordan Spieth, and Xander Schauffele to finish all in the top 20. I got it at plus 420. I think it's like plus 403 right now.
That's a good one. Who is it?
Xander Schauffele, Jordan Spieth, Brooks Koepka.
Yeah.
The only thing that worries me about Koepka is he switched his putter. He's gone to like a mallet putter, and he has used the same putter forever with the same routine that he does, and he switched to a mallet putter. That's the only thing that worries me about it. But he's played well here, and it's a major tournament, so I'm going to roll with them. But Spieth and Schauffele have been about as automatic in this tournament as you can get with finishing in the top 20.
I saw Spieth put one in the drink at Amen Corner yesterday.
Well, that's Jordan Spieth. Like, he's going to do some of that.
Yeah. All right. Well, these are our picks. I put money on Matsuyama.
I like Matsuyama. I've got a Matsuyama and Xander Schauffele top 20 parlay. If Xander Schauffele finishes in the top 20, that is everything for me.
All right.
Parlays will hit if the other guys do, but Xander Schauffele in the top 20 is good for me.
Also, stay away from Wyndham Clark. Maybe a bad back. What's worth?
You're a hotel.
Yeah.
Not a golfer.
It's U.S. Open champ.
I know.
Yeah. All right. That was this week's Odds Couple. I don't know when we're back. Next week? 2 weeks?
2 weeks.
2
weeks for the NFL draft.
2 weeks from Thursday. So we'll be back for the NFL draft. And in the meantime, enjoy your sports. We just had a crazy run. We get the Masters and then settle in and watch some baseball for the next and NBA playoffs. I'm Lang. That's CJ. That's John. That was Rob. Appreciate y'all. See you in a couple of weeks. Back here on Grind City Media.
been listening to The Odds Couple on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Tune in next time with Rob Fisher and Lang Whitaker.